Okay, folks, we're days away from our next art show. Keep It Local is this Friday at Babylon Burning on Howard Street. Misstencil, the featured guest of this podcast, is joined by 5 other artists, as well as 2 food vendors and a live musician, for a night of art, food, music, and community. RSVP and get advanced food tickets at the Humanitics link on our homepage and on our link tree. Food will run out, and we appreciate sliding scale donations at the RSVP link. See y'all soon.
I really believe in destiny. So I believe whatever I suffered when I was a kid, if you could go through that tunnel, it became an asset. It became your story. You know, you made it, you went through.
That was artist Misstencil. I'm Jeff, and this is Storied San Francisco, a podcast about artists, activists, and small businesses that make this city unique. In this episode, part 2 of 2, Misstencil talks about her move from business school in Switzerland to the U.S., and eventually to San Francisco. That was 25 years ago. Here's the rest of my conversation with Misstencil. So, business school?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. You know, I will say, though, also, you're not the first artist that I've met that did that.
Yeah, but then the thing is that, you know, I believe in Chinese people's blood. We have this business gene in our blood, right? And I'm the only person, I'm the worst Chinese business person you'll ever meet. I'm just totally not into making money. Yeah. Anyway, so that's how my life started there. And
okay.
Yeah.
How many years?
I was there probably 2-3 years.
Okay.
Something like that, yeah.
Did you go anywhere else in Europe while you were there?
Yeah, I did. It was so convenient. You know, you could take a train.
Yeah.
It was like 4 hours from Milano, and it was a wonderful time.
Nice.
Yeah, because back then, that was also the first time I had access to internet. I never heard something called internet before. Yeah. You know, there was no cell phone, nothing, and also it was so expensive to call home. You know, you buy one of the phone cards.
Yep. You
know, you dial a number, you put in the password, you scratch the number in the back. So I would call my family once every month or every couple of months.
Yeah.
And then you would basically count the time.
Totally. You have to pay attention because it costs money.
It costs money.
Even, I mean, I think all countries are like this. Like, even calling within the country in a different area code would cost money. Long distance.
Yeah.
And thankfully, cell phones
exactly.
ended that shit.
So later on, I started working there. And
in Switzerland?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I had a call. It was around New Year time, I think. So I called my family and said, hey, how's everybody doing? And everybody just basically passed on the telephone to the other person.
Right.
Which is kind of weird because nobody wanted to talk to me.
Oh.
And by the way, I didn't even have a telephone until I was in high school. So anyway, so it turned out my grandfather died 2 days ago. And I was really traumatized by that because he raised me, and he was closer to me than my dad was. And he had a cancer, but none of them told me that he had a cancer. They were afraid that I didn't have money to come home. They just didn't tell me anything. They didn't want me to commit suicide or something, you know, because I was so close to him. So after that, you know, I still remember I burst out crying like crazy in the McDonald's. Everybody was watching me. What is this girl doing, you know? Yeah. And nobody will understand that I never even got a chance to say goodbye to him, you know? My grandfather was a very interesting person too. So, yeah, it took me 10 years to be able to even mention his name.
Wow.
It was really, really hard for me.
That speaks to the impact he had on you.
Yeah. So, you know, away from family, no money, and didn't know what you wanted to do in life. I mean, I knew nothing about myself. But the culture I grew up in is, you find a good job, you try to be the best you're in school, and you try to get a best job, and then make lots of money, whatever. But nobody really explored who they really are,
Right.
and so that come to the another turning point, which is coming to the United States.
Okay.
So I, just like the way I left China, I never wanted to leave China. I never thought I would go anywhere. Same thing for this country. So I never wanted to come here. Switzerland was fine.
Those McDonald's desserts didn't pique your curiosity?
So I decided to apply for a visa because the school had a joint program.
Here in the States?
Yeah, here in the States.
Okay.
So it was a very easy program, So, why not, So I still remember the day I went to get my visa, and there was a long line. And I went in there. I think I probably spent no more than 3 minutes with the woman who was interviewing me. And then you will hear the results in the afternoon. So everybody lined up in the afternoon, and everybody in front of me and everybody behind me in that line were rejected.
Oh, wow.
I was the only one who got a visa.
Oh, shit.
So it was meant to be.
Totally.
I never wanted to come here, but then since I was given a chance, why not?
Yeah. And where here was here? Like, where was their other school?
South Carolina.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Can you imagine?
I mean, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful,
it's just
but it's
filled
very
with
different.
Weird fucking people.
Anyway, so...
Good food, though.
Yeah. And then after that, I had a chance to go to New York or coming to San Francisco. And I had some friends here. And they said, oh, you can stay with me for like a month, And then why don't you search for apartment here? There's a great website. It's called Craigslist. That was year 2000, I think.
I say back when Craigslist was only here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, that's how I found an apartment in this neighborhood right here.
Boom.
And
You said year 2000?
yeah.
Me too.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm coming up on
20.
25 later this month.
All right.
I'm celebrating the Madrone, everybody, on June 1st, by the way.
June 1st?
Yeah.
I think it was May for me sometime. Yeah.
Oh, you
But
beat me by a
I
couple
stayed
weeks.
briefly in Tenderloin and Shotwell Street before I moved to this.
Yeah.
It was quite interesting, and because I worked for a big company at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And a few days ago, I was cleaning out my closet. I was looking at all these high heel shoes, the suits.
Oh, you had an office job.
Yeah, I had a big company.
Yeah.
And then I had nail polish. And I cannot imagine myself dressed like that nowadays,
Right.
But in those days, I remember I was really dressed up, hair done, and with my high heel shoes, with my fancy bag. And I would walk back home after I get off BART and walk to my apartment on Shotwell Street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If you were on Cap, it might be a different story. Wait, can we rewind just a little bit?
Yeah.
So you said when you're in South Carolina, you could have gone to New York or San Francisco, and that you had friends here, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, can you describe maybe your first visit? And was your first visit also was your move here?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah.
So what did you think when you got here? You had never been, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I've been to New York once. Basically, when I first entered the country, I entered through New York. And I remember, because my friend stayed in Tenderloin at that time, and I only had 2 suitcases at that time. Now I have so much junk in my place. I need to go back to day one.
Call it a 2 suitcase goal.
Yeah.
Of like getting down to that point.
I remember I was just really surprised how beautiful this town is. I mean, having lived here for 25 years or so, I have to be honest with you. I liked San Francisco when I first got here. Right now it's a little bit different.
Sure.
But mainly also because the people that I loved, the kind of neighbor I had, the kind of people I hang out, they all moved out of the city.
Right.
So I kind of miss the San Francisco I used to know.
Mm-hmm.
It's still very pretty, very nice. But
I think it's like they're like relationships. Like where you live, it's a relationship, and it changes over time.
It changes.
Right.
That's the other thing I learned.
As it changes.
Yeah,
And you probably change a little bit too. Yeah.
Nothing stays the same.
Right.
So eventually I got really, bored at my work. And then, I hang out with some old hippies, the people who stay here for forever. And they say, you can do this. You have talent. You should have a show in a coffee shop. You should blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I never had any education. I never went to art school. I'm not good at this anything. I'm just doing this for fun. Like, what are you talking about? You're totally good. So all I heard was encouragement. And when I was really, really broke, it was a period of time where I had no money at all. They would put me up in their house for free so that they can encourage me to do art.
Amazing.
So I feel like San Francisco gave me a second life.
Fuck
basically. Yeah. And they don't just say you're good. They went to art store and they bought stuff for me.
Man.
They said, use this, do this now.
Yeah.
Don't waste your talent.
Was it something that was art, something you had always kind of done at home, maybe as a hobby, would you say, or like in your spare time you kind of do stuff?
I feel like I look away from it because it's not a proper thing to do, because you're gonna waste time doing that instead of achieve whatever in school. So I never spent any time doing that, even though my dad was really good at doing art. Actually, he did some drawing on like a mural in the school where he used to study, and it stayed there until like 20 years ago.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, I still have a photo of my dad drawing on the mural.
Nice.
When he was probably 20 to 30-year-old.
Right. So to the extent that you did art on the side, was it mostly just like little drawings, little illustration?
Yeah, a lot of times like drawing and doodling on a textbook in a math class or chemistry class, physics class, whatever. Actually, both my parents are really good at whatever I would suck at. So they're like, why do I have a daughter like this? Like she doesn't like to do anything that we're good at. So actually, before my dad died, he actually confessed to me once. He said, I want to apologize to you. Like, I never sent you to art school. I never let you explore that part of you. And now you're doing this anyway. I feel like we really wasted a lot of time of yours. And I said, you know what, Dad? I thank you for not sending me to art school, because I don't want to be any of those cookie cutter artists,
And it might have pushed you away.
Yeah,
Who
exactly.
knows? Yeah.
So,
but it's still a poignant sentiment for him to say that.
Yeah, before he died. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he really did as much as he could.
Right.
Both my parents really loved children and everything, but he ended up having none because whatever China was going through at the time. So it's a very tragic story. But they were very happy to learn that I'm happy now living here in San Francisco, and because I would never be happy if I didn't come here.
Right.
I was a miserable person, very dark, very miserable.
Can we go back to this phase when, was it your hippie friend that gave you a place to do it and gave you like supplies?
And some other, just so many people.
And were you still working that office job at the time?
So I started to have shows and started like, I still remember the day I sold a piece of artwork for the first time. Actually, that was right here around the corner. You remember 9th and Lincoln? There used to be a canvas gallery.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I remember
that.
So
They had art shows. So I had one of my first shows there.
Amazing.
And when I was passing by, I saw a red dot next to my artwork. I was so excited. I was calling everybody. I sold a piece of art. I can't believe I can ever do this.
Fucking yeah. Amazing.
So ever since then, I never looked back. And
roughly how long ago was this? Like 15 years?
Oh, more than
20?
15. Yeah.
Okay.
There was like an overlap time, but then
not super long after arriving in San Francisco.
Not super long.
Okay.
And I feel like a lot of misery in life comes from insecurity. Insecurity about, oh, what if I can't afford a rent? What if I cannot have a family, have kids, whatever. But that mostly comes from you don't really know who you are. If you have done enough what you like to do, you're so passionate about it, and then you start become really confident in whatever you're doing, and then you just tune out all the noise, and whatever's going to happen, it will happen. So I feel like the early part of my life, I was just drowning in this in this river, like hitting here and there, and almost drowning. And then now I feel like I'm in a canoe. I have control over which direction I want to go. But still, I like the idea of having the water carrying me to, it's like almost destiny. And I love that. So basically that made me into who I am today is I really believe in destiny. So I believe whatever I suffered when I was a kid, if you could go through that tunnel, it became an asset. It became your story. You made it. You went through. That's why I really wanted to help people like me, like younger adults. They were struggling. They don't know. I know they're in the middle of the tunnel. They couldn't see the end of the tunnel. They couldn't see the light. I've been there. So I will talk to them and say, it's okay. I actually know where exactly you were in the tunnel now. So it's probably 2 years away from being happy.
Getting through it.
Getting through it. You just need to keep on trying it.
Is that work that you do?
No. But I talk to
just in your own time?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, basically that's what happened. And I had an apartment I shared with other roommates. It was kind of rent controlled. So that's why it was affordable. And I could stay here without having to, work on things I really don't like working on.
Yep.
So
Very familiar story. Yep.
I make as much as I can pay bills, and then I explore. Actually, before the pandemic, I used to travel maybe 4 or 5 months, sometimes even 6 months, travel outside the country too. So that really opened up my eyes. And just like you, I love people's stories. So I always travel alone. And people really open up themselves up to me when you travel. And they have amazing stories. So I feel like
if you're open.
If you're open, yeah.
Yeah, right.
But you can feel this chemistry, you're open for dialogues, or conversations. So I feel like my life is like a pinball, just being pivoted to all directions. And then
but who's got the
yeah,
little
I know, yeah.
Sounds like you do now.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in control, and I love it. And
can I ask real fast, going back to like your first show and the first sale, were you Misstencil yet?
No.
Can we talk about where that came from?
Right. So
because that's where now our lives intersect. I started seeing your art, and then
I wasn't a Misstencil until 2022.
Oh, this is a very recent.
Very recent.
Okay.
Yeah, I was doing art under my.
And that's not me calling you old. That's just it's really recent.
So
okay.
So as you know, there were a lot of boarded up windows in San Francisco, broken window, and they're kind of tagged, and so I really want to make it pretty. And my mom used to be director of the archive department. So growing up, I always loved these old photos, the history. My dad loved history, archaeology. And I love stories. And that's why I want to do some kind of street art that people can relate to. It's not just about me. So look at my cool art. I want to do something that the community, they're curious about themselves, the history of the neighborhood, the characters. Remember I did the San Francisco Lonely Heart project?
And you're wearing the shirt right now.
I'm wearing the shirt.
Yeah.
So, and eventually I feel like I'm a San Franciscan, and I want to spread the words, and I want people to know how great this city was, So that's how I started. But again, I come from a culture that never break any rules and never break any laws, so it was kind of, but it was a pandemic. It was different from any other time.
Sure.
So and I get feedback from people. They loved what I did, and I didn't do that much, and I kind of stopped doing that recently because I'm busy with a lot of other things. But the city also kind of just got back on its feet, but it's not looking so. Was
your street art stencils from
Yeah,
the beginning,
stencil.
from the get-go?
From the beginning, I would use stencil.
How did you? I mean, I happen to love stencil art, but how did you come to that? You could do anything.
Yeah, so as you know, I never went to art school. Everything I do is just trial and error,
Mhm.
and then you can also check online how to do this and that. So, yeah, just trial and error, little by little.
Did you have influences?
Not really.
Either local or
No,
or-
not really. But I got to know some other stencil artists, and
Sure.
I love their work. And there's so many talented artists out there, and I learn a great deal from them.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that I don't really like to label myself as, I don't like to be put in a box. You're
Yeah.
this category, you're this and that, I just really want, because I never really had a very happy childhood. So I want to be a child again, so that I can say whatever I want to say. I can do whatever I want to do. I want to remain curious. I don't want you to tell me this is right or wrong. So I want to carve myself, this space just for myself. I can be brave and do whatever I wanted to do. Because, when you talk to little kids, they just say whatever out of their head. They don't, and they're so honest.
Yeah,
right?
it's kind of refreshing, right?
Refreshing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it kind of took off, and I never expected this to happen, and so yeah.
You've done some really cool things. I mean, this is by no means a complete list, but I just want to for where I started finding out about you. I think the first thing was Vesuvio when you did Lonely Hearts.
Yeah.
And I actually met you that day.
Yeah.
And then it was like shortly after that and it was the Frank Chu the Roomba. Amazing.
Frank
She had a
Chu.
Roomba with like Frank Chu on the
Frank Chu was holding a sign on the room about walking around.
Amazing. And then that or a version of that came to the Madrone window display.
Yeah. Actually,
Incredible shit. I was like, who is
somebody
this
saw
person?
my art. I did the Dorothy as well. So somebody saw
Yeah.
my art in Castro, and that person saw Frank Chu walking by.
Oh.
So he said, "Oh, I know an artist that did art of you. You should get a hold of her." So he got his Frank Chu's number,
Okay.
and he told me his number. So
Yeah.
I invited Frank Chu
To Madrone?
No, to Baby Breakers. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I dressed up like Frank Chu and and holding my painting. I said, "Frank, you want to come with me?" And he agreed.
No way.
He did.
Do you have
But-
pictures of this?
Okay, the last minute he called me. Okay, maybe I shouldn't talk this on the radio. But 2:00 in the morning, he called me. He left me a message. He said, he basically he just ghosted me. He didn't show up.
Oh,
He said
man.
he's kind of that way anyway. So
Still, what a story.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. So he's a eccentric San Franciscan, right?
He's an institution, I would say. Like,
Oh yeah. I still see him on the street sometimes.
That's why it was like, there was like the Lonely Hearts that
Yeah.
were up, and then, and people knew, some knew all of them. So yeah.
Yeah.
But everyone knew exactly what the
yeah.
Roomba was.
For people
I
who
love
didn't
that.
know about this project, it's a 15 feet long mural. Because I couldn't find a wall, so I painted on canvas, and I partnered up with Vesuvio, who had a permit for me to do public art for a day. And so I hung up my painting with 20 characters, San Francisco characters. And actually, the mural is not finished. I want to fill the whole canvas. And at first, I thought, maybe 15, 20 people, that would be enough. And then the more I did, like, what? He was born in San Francisco?
Yeah.
So now I'm running out of space. I probably have to do another mural to have more people fit in my painting. And I had I designed a Golden Gate Bridge bench. Remember the bench?
Yes, I remember the bench.
Yeah, it was a two-tower, right?
Yep.
And I had this VIP velvet robe that you can open up. It's like a suspension of the bridge,
Yep.
right? You can sit on my bench, take a selfie, and to be included into this big San Francisco family portrait.
Yep.
So that was my project, and it's still going.
So cool.
Yeah,
So cool.
yeah.
So what all shows do you have coming up?
Well, I'll do a show with some other local artists and hosted by Story SF.
I've
Jeff.
never heard of it. What's that?
And it's gonna be awesome. So there'll be some paintings of spray paintings, and it will be all San Francisco related painting. And yeah,
Keeping with the theme.
yep.
Yep.
It'll be fun.
Awesome. Anything else coming up for you beyond that?
Oh yeah, I have another show probably in Santa Cruz, and I have probably like a mural in Chinatown.
Nice.
And I feel so bad because I passed my deadline. I still haven't got a chance
Oh,
to. Too many things going on, and also I teach in school sometimes.
okay.
And
What level of school?
they're like after school program, like young kids, and
Awesome.
so just do different kinds of art projects, and especially like arts, language, history, and the culture, food. Learn all those through hands-on making art. So yeah,
And
kids love it.
Where can folks find you? Follow, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
so you can find me on misstencil.com, or better yet, got on Instagram. My handle is Misstencil, Misstencil, Misstencil. And it's funny, I got stuck with the name because I was looking for like social media handle, and all the ones I loved were taken. So I'm like, okay, what about this thing called Misstencil? And then people started calling me Misstencil. So I got stuck with the name, and I love it. So that's how
I
people
actually don't know your other name.
You don't know?
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah, exactly. We're fine.
I actually did so many different kinds of. I still do. I was a photographer for many years, and I was with a small group of people. We go to China once or twice a year. I was the photographer, and I shoot videos, and I was the translator. We go document the craftsmen, the stuff that they make, because those people are really old.
So
and we go to
awesome.
the mountains and village, and we go look for things that were just amazing. And yeah, and then we actually published a book. I was the co-author of a book,
Oh, cool.
and that's my separate life. It's nothing to do with Misstencil. So that's just my life, and just I have very fulfilled life thanks
Awesome.
to San Francisco.
Yeah,
San Francisco really gave me a second life. So,
I love that.
Yeah, and I want to continue to make this my home and make it better, and hope to be connected with more people like you, who love the city, who really think of San Francisco as the home. It's not somewhere they can just take advantage of. Like we want to clean up the city. We want to make the city beautiful. We want to live in harmony with everybody, and just listen to one another more. Try to have dinner, sit down, have dinner, and talk to people who are different from you. Just try to find what we have in common,
Hell
right?
yeah.
And then just have a good time here, because life is short. Yeah.
What I normally end episodes this season with, and every season, is I ask my guests to respond to the theme of the season. It's also the name of the show. I'll leave it up to you whether keep it local. So I'll leave it up to you whether you want to actually say more about that, because everything you just said basically answers that.
So you mean you want to talk about what I'm gonna put in the show?
What does that phrase mean to you? Keep it local.
Oh, keep it local. It's not just having real local artists to participate in the show. I don't know about the other artists, but for me, is my interpretation of what San Francisco really is. But I will probably have some elements people all know about, but it will be composed in a Misstencil's way, and you would love to have a piece on your wall. So I hope you will come to the show, and we'd love to meet you. And yeah, I can't wait.
That was Misstencil. Be sure to RSVP for Keep It Local, which is this Friday from 6 to 9 p.m. at Babylon Burning, 939 Howard Street. Check back next week to meet and get to know Mike Irish, the newish owner of Emmy's Spaghetti Shack. Episode 15 drops next Tuesday, wherever you get podcasts. Music for Storied San Francisco was produced, performed, and curated by Otis McDonald. Our contributing producer is Aaron Lim of Bitch Talk Podcast. And the show is produced and hosted by me, Jeff Hunt. Now in our 7th season, we have more than 250 episodes available on our website, storiedsf.com, or wherever you listen to podcasts. If possible, please rate and review the show. I want to know what you think. Follow us on Instagram and Threads @storiedsf, and reach us there or email us at storiedsf@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Be extra careful crossing the street, and keep being wacky, creative, and kind out there. See you next time on Storied San Francisco. We acknowledge and respect the first humans of the unceded land we call San Francisco, the Ramaytush Ohlone. We condemn the genocide of these and other tribes across the Western Hemisphere. We honor their legacy and history, and we support rematriation and sovereignty efforts.
This podcast is a proud member of the BFF.FM podcast network. Learn more at podcasts.bff.fm.
BFF.FM, best frequencies forever.